All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Kaneepa with Macwash, Standing Bear, Soda Tribe, Fishing Lake First Nations, Saskatchewan, Canada Treaty, Fort Territory, Anishinaabe, 60 Scoop Survivor, published author, and welcome to We Are, a little dramatic moment, a little, welcome to We Are the Medicine Circle, which really just implies that we are the Medicine Circle. That means it kind of looks like this right here. See, this is all of us right here. Um, uh, that implies that no one's in charge. I'm not in charge. I don't want to be in charge. I'm not here to be in charge or tell anybody what to do. I'm just here, kind of like the middleman type thing. There was a comment came in yesterday or a couple days ago, and that's what I'm referring to. I am here in service of the Great Spirit, and I'm here in service of the circle. So I'm sitting right next to you. That's the way it looks right now. So, and if no one said that, they love you today. I love you very much, which again means that I want you to live your very best, beautiful life. That's what I want you to do. Beginning with spirit, connecting to all those beautiful things, and the reciprocal would be, I love you too, Standing Bear. That's really it. So, uh, that's how we support each other. That's how we pray for each other. That's how we lift each other up. That that's really yeah, that's really about it. So a couple of housekeeping announcements here. Like if there is a lag in the connection, just know that I'm not going anywhere. If like lag in the audio or get the if something gets frozen, just know that I'm not going anywhere. If I get kicked off, I'm going to hit that that live button again. We'll pick up right where we left off, and then we'll finish out the hour ish. So try to keep it to an hour. I fail miserably, but try to keep it to an hour. So also we are going off two platforms as well. So if you see me look back, that's what I'm doing. Um, some people had issues with Facebook, kind of thing, the algorithms, blah blah blah. So they're over at YouTube, Standing Bear, the author. So if you would like to use that platform, that is fine. We're looking for another platform as well. So yeah, that's it. So let's begin in the usual way. Let us begin with a little smudge here this morning. Just light that up. I do have my lighter today, so yes, thank you for yesterday. Could not find that yesterday. So um, also let's remember to there we go. Also let's remember to let's have one volunteer. Just give me a thumbs up. Give me a little heart if you can. Keep this smudge going throughout the circle. This morning's meditation in remembrance for the residential school children who never made it home. And if I add a little bit to that, and the family members too, because remember, it is the smoke that connects us all. So please and thank you in advance for that. And let us begin. Let us begin. Okay, so oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Okay, let us begin in a good way here. Uh, so, let us. So let us begin with prayer. Let us begin with spirit. Let us begin with offering a little help from above. The old one said, if it doesn't begin with prayer, then it doesn't begin. If it doesn't begin with spirit, then it doesn't begin. So let us begin in a good and beautiful way. If you would like to offer with us, that would be good. And then to all my relations, Kitchimana 2, Great Spirit, Great Mystery Creator, Chi Megwitch for our breath, Chi Megwitch for our circle, Chi Megwitch for our day, Chi Megwitch for our life. Thank you We are grateful for our last breath, and we are hopeful for our next, and we live in that place in between. We come here today. We mean no harm in what we do. We come here in a good way, sacred way. We come here to listen. We come here to learn. We come here with humble intentions. There can be many reasons why we come, and that's how we come, but why we come, the first reason always is life. That is the only reason. There can be many more after, but a celebration of life is most important. Without life, we have nothing. Without life, we have nothing. So we come here and we celebrate all life as if it was our own, because it is. We come here, we celebrate all nations, tribes, and circles, especially those nations, tribes, and circles that do not look like the two-legged, like the standing nations, the ones who offer the world breath. We say thank you. To the swimming nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the water, we say thank you. To the winged nations, the ones who teach us how to live in harmony and balance with the wind and air. To the creepy crawlies and the slitheries and the insect nations, the ones who teach us how to stay close and grounded to Mother Earth, we say thank you. To the four-legged nation, circles, and tribes, the ones who offer us and teach us so much about our humanity, we say thank you. And of course, to other two-legged nations, circles, and tribes, we understand that you are our teachers as well, which makes our ears and our hearts very happy. We come here and we celebrate those things that offer us life: air, fire, water, and earth. We celebrate the seven directions because we know love, wisdom, and light comes from all directions. We celebrate the ones who have come before us, our ancestors. And remember, if they are our relatives here, which all life is, then they are our ancestors over there. So the grandmother and grandfather buffalo, grandmother and grandfather bear, grandmother and grandfather eagle, they are also our ancestors. And that has to be acknowledged in a good way. They lived accordance with harmony and balance, in accordance with sacred law. That is their prayer that they have given us, that they have offered us. This must be recognized and honored, appreciated and loved as a beautiful gift. So we come from a million points of light and love, because the ancestors walked that way. And we also understand and acknowledge that some of our two-legged ancestors were hurt, wounded, abused, and traumatized, and they also passed that along to us. And we also understand this is a time of great healing, grieving, and mourning. We understand this is a time to begin that process. We also understand during this process it's okay not to be okay. And as we move along in this process, we will realize that their wounds and traumas were not for us to carry, but for us to heal. And not just for ourselves, but for the future 7 generations. For we only borrow this earth from our children, and our children are only loaned to us. So we live at a beautiful intersection between two unseen worlds, but they here see everything that we do. So let us be mindful. Everything we say be a prayer, and mindful that everything we think be prayerful. So we come here in a good way. That means we recognize that we're in this place between two unseen worlds. What a great time and opportunity it is for us to break those chains. The ladder of violence, the drinking, the drug, all these things. It doesn't have to be. the way it's always been. But we come here and we open our hearts to the Great Spirit and connect to all things beautiful. It's as simple as that. We connect to this beautiful place where we connect to the ancestors in all directions. There's a path that the ancestors left for us. A well-worn path. It's called the Red Road, the road of wellness, the road of all people, the road of unity, the road of harmony and balance. Humility, love, truth, honesty, respect, wisdom, and courage. That when we sit with these, we are here to make good relations, both seen and unseen. That means we sit with humility. That means we sit with courage, and we sit with love, and we sit with all the 7 sacred teachings. And in the beginning, it may seem like the teachings are over there and we are over here. But the more we sit with them, the more we realize that we are those teachings, that we are already humility. And we're supposed to align ourselves, our thoughts, our prayers, our actions with that. That means knowing that we are earth and we are not separated from each other. But we live in a world that tells us otherwise. So we come here in this circle and we pray for all others. And when we pray for all others, we're that much closer with every prayer, with every word, with every thought. We become closer to the original prayer at the center of the universe of harmony and balance. We come here to be the peacemakers. That is the forgotten dream and the forgotten prayer. We're to be guardians of that light, guardians of serenity, guardians of harmony and balance. We bring peace to wherever peace is needed. Oh, all right. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Once again, my name is Kanipa Whitmack One, Standing Bear, Soda Time, Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Treaty 4 Territory, Anishinaabe, 60s group survivor, and published author. And here we are again. So anyway, let on. There's a couple of things, kind of preamble things, and again, there was a kind of comment about this. We go over this, these things, these 4 things: hollow bones, the elders and ancestors circle, medicine, and sacred family. These are kind of like the preamble things to set up. It's just to help people spiritually position where they are, to understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, kind of thing. Because we're not all on the same page. We all haven't been here for 30 years or 40 years or walking the red road. We are all over the place, and that is fine. So it just kind of like, hey, this is what we are. This is, when we talk about hollow bones, that's a prayer. That's a prayer that we are moving close to. So, when we go over, we're going to group like 5 questions together. So, when we go over ancestors and elders, that's a very traditional thing. That gratitude. When we thank them, that's gratitude, right? And so, when we thank the wisdom that they have brought us, like Tony Stonehawk's brought us a lot of beautiful, powerful wisdom. So that's that makes this circle that much more connected to the ancestors. So we constantly want to thank the ancestors. Like if we say thank you all day, that still would not be a wasted day, because we're grateful and thank you. And so anyway, hollow bones. What is your definition of hollow bones? We know there's a life force out there that is seen and unseen, like the sunrise, the deer, the rabbits, the beavers, the buffaloes, all these things that have this beautiful life force. They carry and every different and they carry a different medicine, right? Like every single one of us carries a little different medicine, right? Like we're all two-legged, but we carry a little different medicine, right? And that is beautiful and powerful. That is what makes us unique, and that is what makes the circle strong, right? So, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in the question today. So basically, hollow bones comes in two parts. So with the understanding that there's something out there, right? Um, we want to connect to that, right? We really want to connect to that. So we connected to that. And then the second part is, and this is what the colonial world always forgets. This is why they're colonial. That's the definition of colonial, is like they keep it, like there's ownership of that, right? And really, hollow bones, we don't own anything. So the life that we are given, we are supposed to give prayers to life. Prayers, life, life. So we are to offer life. So that's why we constantly go over. That's why we go over the morning prayers, because we want to give life, right? So we're not a circle of just takers. It's not a one-way street. So the life that we have been given right now, gratitude, thank you, and then we want to pray for all others, right? Which is really something that the colonial world really just doesn't do, right? We just kind of, well, mine is my own. I keep this. No one else can have it. I don't have enough. I need more. That kind of thing. It really gets twisted. But here, when we offer life, guess what we get? We get a really beautiful, powerful life, right? That sense of serenity, that sense of happiness, that sense of belonging, that sense of like that we are unconquerable, right? So that we can go through anything, and that we have the courage and the resources and the power and the ancestry to walk through anything. That's really a beautiful thing. So, okay, would love to hear your definition of hollow bone. And the one thing is, there was a question in there that said, well, why don't you just read off a definition? And I thought about that, and really, so the reason why I don't do that is because um, it's not a static definition. Like the water is fluid, right? So as we grow, so does our definition of hollow bones. That's why I just kind of read hollow bones there and just kind of go over it different ways, um, daily. So that's why I offer your definition, because what you see, hear, understand, believe today could be a little different. Like even tomorrow, even at the end of this meditation, not like there's this great growing, right? Growing in understanding, richness, depth, and weight. That's why we do that. Okay, ancestors and elders. So very traditional to thank those that have come before us. So thank you to all the ancestors who have brought us here. And it's not just the two-legged either. Like that's the other thing. So we have to thank the eagle, the beaver, the bear, the buffalo, the wolf, all these things that have brought us beautiful, powerful message, because we are them, the illusion of separation, right? But it's okay to thank our two-legged ancestors too. So thank you to Grandfather Tony Stonehoff, been with him for 30 years. Thank you to all those other men, Muslims and Cookums who were officially First Nation, who have guided me in a really good and beautiful way. Uh, uh, and all those other men and women of medicine who have guided me in a really good and beautiful way. So, okay. Um, Circle medicine. No one's in front of us, no one's behind us, no one's above us, no one is below us. This is what we look like right here. We are a beautiful, beautiful circle. There's about 26 of us in here. Oh, we got a good crowd today. So this is all of us. So I bring this up. This is medicine. This is not like a prop, right? This is what follows the prayers right here. Who we are, what we are, and how we are doing. We are intertwined and overlapping teachings, right? We are prayers, and every single one of us here. So these are the beavers, the bears, the ancestors, the future seven. We are all intertwined together. So that's a beautiful thing, right? So okay, sacred feminine. Okay, so here we go. We understand the life givers. I'm just gonna say that, the life givers. So and this is a little contrast medicine. So there's another world out there, the colonial Western patriarchal world, that does not recognize, honor, respect, and it marginalizes and forgets the ones who have brought us into this life. Right? very beautiful, powerful, sacred energy. And again, there's a question, why do I bring this up? Because of harmony and balance. That's why I do. That's why we talk about all these things. Everything we talk about has to do with harmony and balance. We don't do this as some rote routine. This is very intentional, right? So that intentional is to honor, recognize the life givers and the medicine that they bring all of us, right? The life givers brought me very, very beautiful medicine, and now I'm sharing that medicine, right? So, and actually, in the question today, like I don't know how, like the question and the reading and all this thing, it all manages to work together. And like I don't set this up. I'm doing this like drinking coffee and just doing all this stuff. I'm not that clever enough to set up everything. I just I'm not. So anyway, question of the day. So please keep your questions, concerns, comments coming. I feel like a lawyer when I do. I do not guarantee I will get around to all of them, but there's a reason why I do that. Just because some people get a little angry. Yeah, so just saying, do my very very best here. So anyway, let us get to it, do it. And so okay, this is about there was a little back and forth. The preamble to this is talking about the past, right? Some of us have had addiction issues, drinking and drugging issues. And this is really going to blame, shame, guilt, right? We talked about it yesterday a little bit about. We touched on, we touched that spot yesterday about being a burden, right? It's kind of the same thing, right? And I think this question was from that too. I didn't ask that, but how do we know? Hold on, sorry. How do we know if when we are healed? Okay. And so I said, it's not a finish line, right? It's not a finish line. There's no graduation. There's no diploma. There's no. It's not like. It's not like running across the New York City. Oh my God, I'm finally healed, right? It's not that place. It's not an event, right? You know, um, this is and let's preamble this with let's be really gentle, right? Let's be really gentle, right? Right, right. A lot of us uh, come from a really hurt place, right? I get that. I understand that. So when we stop, when we stop looking at the past and feeling shame, kind of look back. Oh my God, can't believe I did that. Oh my God, can't we got fired for that job? Like that happened to me, right? Oh my God, can't we got fired for it? And now it's just like okay, whatever. It's part of my healing journey, right? So when we look at it, and so that's a level of beautiful healing, right? The guilt. Oh my God, I did that. Oh, I can't put it. That's just a simple marker to say that there's some healing to do. Like I got kicked out of college, right? And for a long time I carried that shame. It was a Division 1 school. I mean, it was a lower Division 1, but it was still a division. And so for years I carried that around. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that. But really, the more I healed, the more I'm like, okay, well, that's just part of my story. It's really like no big deal, right? Like even though, and that's just the way it is. And again, there's and a little sidebar to this is that there's people in our lives that still bring that up as a place of blame, shame, guilt. Well, we don't need to. Um, they don't need to be acknowledged, right? Some people like us to be sick, right? Right. So what we do, and it's not to say that we don't love them, but we gently dismiss them. Right? We say, okay, move move on. It's kind of like people love us to be sick, so we surround ourselves, and this is kind of part two of that. Like when we heal, we don't need like there was a big part of me that said, well, I really need to show these people how healed I am, right? And now it's just like whatever. I just I love you, and that's it, right? Like I don't need to run back to you and say, oh, I'm doing so well now. I'm so good. I'm sober now. We don't need to do that. We simply do that already by what we think, how we think, what we say, and how we say it, right? And that you can write down. I'm not sure if I've been here. there's a pen right there. So, so if there's, so let's be really gentle. So if we look past, maybe there's a marriage, maybe there's a DUI, maybe there's something like that, right? Um, and obviously there's accountability and consequences, right? We can't skip that and go over to our healing. I think I posted something about that today too. So one thing, we have to be accountable for what we did, right? That's okay, right? So make the amends process. Just do it and just say, hey, this is part of my healing process, right? Like if they delve into, hey, you should be very ashamed, just say, okay, that's fine. We don't need to take that personally, right? So that's another beautiful thing. And thank you for who's the guy that did the four agreements? Miguel Ruiz. I think that's his name. You guys are gonna find that. You're gonna post that, and so thank you for that. You're gonna correct me. So what? So thank you. The guy that did the four agreements said take nothing personally. So in our own healing, we know that as we go through this process, right? Um, in like the beginning, there's a lot of blame, shame, guilt. It's like, oh my God, And again, this is contrast medicine. That's what the colonial world really offers us. Like if you're not blaming, then you're like not like. I kind of hate it. Like if you're not blame shaming or guilting somebody, like you're not American, right? I come from that country, right? So like if you're not doing that, then you have to blame somebody. You have to blame somebody, and you know, and a lot of us take that on. Like, oh my God, I was so bad. Oh my God, I'm so bad. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that when I was. Oh my God, I can't. And it's overwhelming, right? But the more we sit in circle, and here's like the other end, the positive end to that. And the more we connect to this thing called life, the more hollow bones we are, the more we understand how precious life is, how precious serenity is, and peace, and harmony and balance. And the closer we move to that, the less blame, shame, guilt that we feel. That's natural law, right? Right. I love you. I love you. So let's take this very gently. This is a very sensitive topic, and I recognize that, right? You know, so again, just to kind of recap, just say, hey, look, a great time for gentleness. Write that down, right? You know, like when we look at our okay, so so when we look at our past, that's why we have, if you're a female, that's why we have grandmothers. That's why we have grandfathers. Thank you to grandfather Tony, who really kicked this thing off. Um, and this has to be said. So, that world, what was blame, shame, guilt me, and diagnosing me literally to death, right? Because that's what they do. They will separate us to death. And they do that by blame, shame, guilt, right? They do that by diagnosing. Oh, okay, well then, okay, Sybil, well, okay, you did this, or you're diagnosed with this. Okay, Alan, okay, okay, you made that mistake, so we're gonna diagnose you with this, right? Okay, okay, there's Sybil again. Okay, Sybil, oh my God, you diagnosed like 4 times here, oh God, you know, but really the thing is, right? You know, the healing begins, and my healing began when Grandfather Tony said, "What happened to you?" Nobody ever said that to me before. Nobody, so everybody is, oh God, Wayne's angry, Wayne's this, Wayne's that. No, Wayne was sad. Wayne was suicidal at the age of 5 because of what they did to me. Nobody asked me that. Nobody asked me if it was okay for them to steal me and to do the things they did to me when I was in care, when I was in foster care. Nobody asked me that, right? Right? So the behaviors after that recognizing, so when Grandfather Tony said, and that was really the beginning, sit with those elders. That's why you sit with the grandmothers. That's why we go to ceremonies, and that's why we do that. That is the place to do it, right? It's a beautiful, safe place. Like I say, I do a lot of traveling and do a lot of circles. I said there's not that many safe circles anymore, but you know what? We can create one wherever we go, and that's the beauty and the power that world doesn't want you to know. But I'm telling you that's what's changed my life right here. So the safe circle. So the females with the females, the males with the males. You know. Hey, look, especially the males, because a lot of bad things happen to us, right? It's kind of like Me Too type stuff, right? So, that's okay, right? That's okay. And understanding that during this process, tears are absolutely necessary. We are all behind on our tears, including myself, right? I've been doing this for 30, sitting with Grandfather Tony for 30 years, and I'm still behind on my tears, right? And it is a ceremony of tears. It's not a place of blame, shame, guilt. I love you, right? Right. So we release that, right? We just release that, right? We don't keep those toxins in, right? The eye ducts, it's a place of releasing. So when we release, um, it's not necessarily you're free. The ones who are releasing, we become free, right? Free from the blame, shame, and guilt, right? Really. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. Okay, so please keep your questions and comments coming. I could go on and on about. That's a great question too. By the way, please keep your questions and comments coming. Um, Okay, we are here to the reason why we are here. We have hit that moment. We're running a little bit over. So, and I know you can see this backwards. So we go over daily medicine and we go over Whispers from the Hollow Bone. Both books I have written with the help of the Great Spirit, Tony Stonehawk, the ancestors. We have to we have to thank those because I would not be here for any of those. Would not be doing this for any of those. So, well, thank you all those men and women that I've sat with. There's an elder in the feed today, Alan White. I sat with him a couple of times too. So thank you, Alan, for joining us today. We love you. So okay. So so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over Whispers from the Hollow Bone, October 2nd. So if we could put that in the feed, that being put the whole thing in the feed. So we need one volunteer, please, and thank you. Please and thank you for putting that in the feed. Um, and what we're going to do is we're going to read it a couple of times, develop what we call a general impression. And again, this is not a place to blame, shame, guilt, because there's what, 30 people here. So, we're going to be all over the map. We're thinking like, wow, this is what this. But the beautiful thing is, and I need you to listen to me here. So the beautiful thing is, we all grow in understanding together. That's the magic when the medicine gathers. And we are all beautiful medicine. We are all beautiful medicine. When the medicine gathers, that's that beautiful, beautiful part, right? So, we all come in understanding together in that beautiful, beautiful alignment, right? That's it. So if you don't quite get it, or you just end up like this is not, it's not that. Just hang with us, and okay. See if I get this right. If we are not feeling the presence of our ancestors walking with us, we are not. I got so many notes on that. Hold on. If we're not feeling the presence of our ancestors walking with us, we are not singing, dancing, or praying hard enough. Okay. What does that mean to you? This is not a place of right or wrong. This is just, hey, this is what this means to me, right? Right. So what does this mean to you? And this is simply, again, we're going to be all over the map, and that's okay. If we are not feeling the presence of our ancestors walking with us, we are not singing, dancing, or praying hard enough. What does that mean to you? Right? Okay, it's kind of like it's a little bit direct, right? It's a little bit direct, right? And the talking the real, and the preamble to this would be, we all go like this, right? We have our highs and we have our, that's just the natural kind of flow. What they're talking about is in like a general way that we should be, and the general way is we should be happy. Like, I don't know if you know that. I didn't know that. Walking the red road, we should be serenity, peaceful, and happy. And that's alignment, right? And that's something that you'll never hear from the colonial world, right? Because they don't need it to be that. They don't want it. It It doesn't benefit them for you to be happy, and that you can write down. Right? It does not benefit them for you to be spiritually aligned with natural law. It does not benefit them, right? So they benefit from you being sick, from you being lonely and depressed. And this is contrast medicine: lonely, depressed, sad, alone. Right? That's simply the medicine that they offer. Right? If you're feeling that way, right? This is not about good or bad, right or wrong, anything like that. So we leave that conversation at the door, right? It's just simply, hey, just a little identification. Like, yeah, you know what? When I came here 30 years ago, I was suicidal. I did not want to be here. I hated everybody because I thought everybody hated me because I wasn't aligned. You know, I was drinking and drugging and doing all this stuff, right? You know, like in and out of jail, just kind of like all this like crazy, crazy stuff. And you know what? And I took that personally. They said you're a bad person. You're doing this. You're doing that. When really, in actuality, again, bringing us full circle, Grandfather Tony said, "What happened to you?" And that put an arrow right through me. And I said, "Oh my God, Tony, I don't even know what happened to me, and I don't even know how many times they did it. I just knew it was all bad. It was all bad, you know." And so I took that all bad and I took that on myself. And that's really, you know, so basically I was not feeling the ancestors when I started 20 years ago. I did not I didn't even know we had ancestors, right? Because I wasn't attached to there's this white family, the Snellbergs, and I mean, they're beautiful people. They gave me a great opportunity, but like there's a level that I just couldn't connect with them, right? I just couldn't, right? They gave me every beautiful opportunity. They did not hurt me at all, right? But I had a really hard time connecting to them. I just did, right? That's just my story, right? So and because of that, that's where I thought my family started, right? So okay, let's get back to the reading. Can we get back to the reading? Okay, let's read this one more time. If we are not feeling the presence of our ancestors walking with us, we are not singing, dancing, or praying. That's a little bit direct. That's a little bit in your face. Kind of like a beautiful, gentle velvet hammer-ish fork in the road type deal, right? Right. Again, let's not go to that blame, shame, guilt, right? Right. Let's not go there, right? The end game is where we're supposed to be peaceful. We're supposed to be happy. We're not supposed to be talking victimese, right? Right. Right. Talked about that the other. Oh, this is what happened to me. There's some people in our life on social media. That's all they talk about. Oh, look what happened to me. Look what happened to me. Yeah. So let's jump right in. If that's a fork in the road. If a place of searching, there's a presence there, right? If how are you feeling, right? Here's a question: what happened to you? Right? What happened to you? Right? What did they do? Right? I love you. And again, and this is a great time to remind ourselves to bring in the feminine energy, right? Right? That gentle, that nurturing, right? Right. It doesn't have to be harsh, but it has to be real. We are being accountable now, right? Right. 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 And there's good consequences to being accountable. There's good consequences. Like, we're doing this to heal, to be happy, to grow together. That's a beautiful consequence. Right? I like that. Right. I like that. I like being a part of you. Right. I like being a part of Judy and Sybil and all these beautiful people. Right. Because when I understand you, it makes my story that much stronger. And that you can write down. Right. Right. If I understand and listen to your healing, then I understand and listen to mine a little bit more. And that you can write down. That's what makes it beautiful, powerful, right? But if we don't sit together, if we don't listen to each other, right? If, when I pass the first word, if, right? The first letter to if is I, right? circle that. If, right? So it's really directly calling you out right now in a really good way, in a really sensitive, nurturing, gentle, compassionate way. Right? Right. If, oh my God, and here's I. The first letter of if is I, and then the next letter is we. I can't even make that up, right? Right. So the I is already, we're sitting right next to the we, right? In the same circle, in the same sentence, right? In the same prayer, in the same ceremony. So the I and the we, they are what? They are intertwined, overlapping, intertwined, and connected. And you know what I'm going to do right here. This is us. This is the I, and this is a we, and this is the I here. Let's look really closely here. So the I is like the individual strand of, this is sweetgrass, by the way. So I just assume you know that. Sorry about that. My bad. So this is sweetgrass. So this is sweetgrass, and you know, the sweetgrass is filled with a bunch of I's that are weaved together. Prayers, life. That's what we are doing, right? That's what we are doing. So the I and the we, they're together, right? I mean, I could go on for an hour just like that. That's just cool, right? Cool. That means you're not alone anymore. That means we're sitting together, right? And I like that. I like not being alone when I'm sad, lonely, scared, afraid, right? I like that, right? But sometimes I do, right? So there's some things that we do to remind us that we are not that we are not alone. Like the more we're alone, the more we feel shame, blame, guilt, right? That's just we drift one way or we drift the other, right? So let's when we stay in prayer, then we really understand, you know, the nature, the power, the gentleness, the compassion of the circle, that we are never alone. And really, that's what we're talking about here today. So if we are not feeling, oh, okay, if we are not feeling, okay, we live in a feeling world. You know, that's a beautiful gift that we have. We are not burdened. And I see this all the time. Oh my God, you know, because that world, it burdens us to death, right? And that you can write, it burdens us to death, right? Blame, shame, guilt. Those are the three headless horsemen that they offer us, that we ride with all the time. We hop on, and really we volunteer for it. You know, like, you know, as I was doing my recovery thing, you know, there's some accountability steps right there. And really what I was looking at was I was volunteering for every bad thing that happened to me, right? Like this, like once the true nature, once the trauma was there, then that led to other behaviors, and then I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, because really this world leaves us with nowhere else to go but this beautiful reading. It tells us exactly what to do, how to do it, right? But until we get there, we were still volunteer for. That's like codependent relationships. That's like drinking. That's like having manic behavior. That's like being OCD. That's like being all those things, right? You know, it's all those things, right? You know. So we live in a feeling universe. We're supposed to feel good. Right? We're supposed to feel happy, safe, serene. We're supposed to feel compassionate and love. We're supposed to empower each other. That's a great feeling, right? Who here has ever heard that? That we are supposed to feel that we are here to help each other and empower each other. That you can write down right there. Right. Oh, like, you know, that's something that we might do, like if we feel good, right? That's what most people say. Like, well, you know, when I feel good, yeah. I call my brother, sister up, you know, spiritual brother, sister, be like, yeah, I love you, man. I love you. That means I want you to live a really good life. That's like an empowering thing, right? You know, you know. And you know, before Grandfather Tony explained that, I didn't know what that was, right? I'm just like, you know, I thought love was something else, right? So, right, that distorted thing that the colonial wood does to, you know, love. I thought that was love, right? So, yeah. So, so what I want you to write is, whenever it says emotions or feeling, I want you to write medicine wheel next to it, and this is the part that I want you to write: spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. Right, because feeling is spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. Feeling is all four of those things, and that you can write down, right? Like it's not just one thing, and that world cubby holds that into like one thing, right? Kind of like, okay, all right, I think I see something. Okay, I think I feel something, but no, it's not like that, right? Just like listening with all five senses, we feel with spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. That's what we're supposed to do, and then the deeper is that, we're supposed to listen to our feelings, and again, it gets really deep, really beautiful, real quick. But I'm kind of running out of time here, so so we'll just put that right next to us. So this is what it looks like right here, so feeling, and then have a little thing, and this is medicine right here. So, it's all inclusive, right? Like it's not just one thing. Like that colonial world loves to cubbyhole everything, right? Cubbyhole. Okay, this is your feelings, and this is what you're supposed to be like, and this is how this is the whole that you're supposed to look through to how to feel, and that's really not it, right? Right. We're supposed to be feeling the world. That's what we're supposed to be feeling, right? Yeah. Place. Once we understand, realize that, hear that, see that, understand that, feel that, you know, emotional, then beautiful things happen. Okay, so if we are not, okay, not big deal. That's a big deal. That's why we're here. So I want you to circle not. Sorry, we're kind of circling back to that. So not. Like if you're not feeling that, again, this is not a place of blame, shame, guilt, right? This is not like, well, okay, Dwavid, you're bad because you're not feeling like the way you're a bad person. No. This is just put right down next to it, contrast medicine. That's simply it, right? We leave blame, shame, guilt at the door, good, bad. We're not bad people becoming good, right? That's what that narrative, that colonial world narrative says, but that's not in alignment with spiritual laws. This is just a simple alignment with spiritual law, right? Simple, not quite an easy thing to do, but this is a beautiful reading that makes it really clear about what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to do it, right? And really what we're supposed to do, we're supposed to do it right now, by the way. So in fact, we'll get that in the presence. Okay, the present. That means be right here, right now. That means be all in. And we've had that conversation over and over again because Grandfather Tony had, I'm getting really fired up now. So just hold on. So we have to be all in, right? We have to be all in. We have to be present here in the moment, right? Right. Right. That's why it's so important. Let's bring the question into this. Again, I'm not that clever that I set up the question in this. It seems to work out all the time though. So, it's hard to be here if we're, you know, that's supposed to be the past. That's why I'm doing that, right? So, like if we're kind of hooked on the past, we're kind of like leaning over here like this, and we're just kind of looking over here sometimes. Okay, I'll be present for a second, but I'm really stuck in the past, right? Kind of thing. No, right. That's why we really need to do this, because this right here, it helps clean up the past, right? You know, let's be really gentle with ourselves. Let's bring that grandmother medicine in, right? You know, um, also, this is, let's take let's step back a minute. I know we don't have a lot of time left, but let's take a step back now. let's bring in let's bring in some really beautiful, powerful medicine. Like if you have some water there, that is a really good idea, right? Or go to water this weekend, man. We did some really powerful ceremonies, and one of those things that Spirit was telling me is, go to that place of water, allow that, like allow those emotions, those beautiful things to flow through. And water is, when we're in the presence of the water, right? When we drink the water, right? Right. you know the physical presence near us is really a spiritual moment, right? Because they're really the same thing, right? So, all right. So, like, if you have some water there, and definitely drink some water, or even just have it in close proximity. Grab a glass of water, sit it right next to you, and just know that the medicine of the water is already cleansing you, because it already is, right? So if we are not feeling the presence, the presence. Okay, let's go over this one more time. We have to be here. We have to be present right here. right here, right now. We have to be all in. That means all five senses right here. That means we have to see, both seen and unseen. That means close your eyes and kind of see us. There's 28 of us in a circle right now. So just imagine like 28 beautiful people. Just see, close your eyes and see just points of light. Just kind of look around the room and just kind of like know that, man. Grandfather Tony taught me how to do this is when we were in the sweat lodge, and he said just close your eyes and just see everybody, and I'm like, that's really weird because it's really dark in the sweat lodge. I'm just, I don't know if you know that, what he was teaching me is, again, to use our imagination, right? Again, we're back to that beautiful place. We cannot do this presence right here without the presence of imagination that you can write down too. So that's part of being all in. All in is using our imagination, right? So kind of close your eyes at 28, 27 hours here, and just like, there's a beautiful, beautiful presence there, right? Just know that everybody's here, and I know, right? So just stay there. Of our ancestors, it just got really beautiful, really powerful, really compassionate, really gentle, really quick, right? And again, let's go back to the opening prayer. So we know already from the opening prayer, from sitting in here for a little bit, that our ancestors are not just the two-legged, right? Our ancestors are the winged, or the four-legged, or the creepy crawlers, and the slithers. The swimming nations, right? The winged nations, right? They are all our ancestors. And just kind of wrap your head around that for a second. That is so, when Grandfather Tony said that, I'm thinking mind blowing. That was a game changer. I have never forgotten that in all my life. I'm like, I can't believe that, right? I'm sitting here like, I can't believe that. Like how can I be like cousins, spiritual cousins and brothers and sisters to the eagle? It doesn't even make sense because I come from that world where it doesn't make sense. But we come here because they're separating everybody. We have to break down the illusions of, and that's what we do here. But we can't do it without seeing, hearing, feeling, listening, understanding, imagination. We can't do it without it. So that's part of being all in. But just imagine for a second, Leah, Allison, Frank, Amanda. Just imagine you sitting with the Eagle Nation and then welcoming you in. And they would say, imagine this, brings tears to my eyes. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. To James, to Randall, the Buffalo Nation looking over, and just close your eyes and sitting with all the Buffalo, and they would say, Grandfather Buffalo would say, welcome home. Welcome home. Or the Hawk Nation, or the Beaver Nation, or the Wolf Nation, or the Bear Nation. And this works, and the more you do it, guess what? The more we hear, the more we see, the more we feel. We feel at peace and at home. Right? Right. Dwavin. Right. Just imagine you, Gina, Maureen, sitting with, all those nations, and all those nations, they have medicine for us to understand, to hear, to feel. Right? But if we never know they're there, if nobody ever teaches us to close our eyes and to sit with that, then we will never know. And that's something that colonial world, it doesn't want us to know. It doesn't want us to know our power. It doesn't want us to know like that we're singers, and it doesn't want us to know when they share their medicine, it gives us the right to share ours. Right? Right. Imagine the dreams of the eagles, and that you are part of that. Right? Right. Right. You know what? And this works for it works for everything. This works for, you know, this works for the summer. It works. Picture that beautiful place that we all have, right? Maybe when we were little, that beautiful place, that beautiful tree, and just close your eyes and just know that they're there, right? That's an ancestor too. When I was climbing trees, I didn't know. that I was making good relations as I was climbing the tree, because nobody ever taught us that. But in the indigenous world, that's what we're doing when we're in proximity or making contact or climbing or digging. Then we're like, as kids, we had a dirt pile. I had a dirt pile. Kid, that's what I did in the '70s, right? So big dirt pile. I was saying what I was doing was making good. I didn't even know that. I knew it felt good to get the dirt on my hands, on my feet. I knew it felt good, right? I didn't know why. The colonial world said the dirty. It said, but it was later on that said, don't rub it off, rub it in, right? Right. So the colonial world again, dyslexic, right? Right. Don't rub it off, rub it in. Mother Earth is the medicine, right? We all come from Mother Earth, right? Right. Yeah. Okay. So can we get back to the reading? Okay. What time is? Oh, yeah, we're gonna run over again. I kind of. Okay. So, okay. Of our ancestors, and so when we sit with the buffalo, when we close our eyes, imagination is crucial and vital to this, right? And I need you to write that down. Crucial and vital. You know, and that's how we reinvent ourselves, reinvent, restore, recapture. It's all those things, right? It brings back, and the more we do it, the more pieces we bring back to each other, right? And just like, and this is just the setup. This is again like the preamble, right? The preamble to this. So the more we sit with, the more we understand, and like those pieces, right? It's like there's a thing called like soul retrieval out there. It's not my medicine, but I get it, right? Years ago I didn't get it. I thought it was really weird, new age stuff, kind of woo woo kind of stuff, but now. Like I get it now. It's just like, pieces of the eagle and the buffalo make me whole. Right. That's not quite soul retrieval, but it's kind of like along those lines. It's a cousin of soul retrieval, right? Just bear with me. No pun intended. Well, kind of pun intended, right? So anyway, so if we are not feeling the presence of our ancestors, right? So the preamble, we're supposed to be sitting with the ancestors, right? Okay. Um, we are not singing, dancing, or praying hard enough. That's a little bit in your face. That's like direct, right? So also right next to there's a note here, the presence. Also write medicine wheel next to that, right? Emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, right? Write that next to that too, because that's what that presence is. And again, that goes into all five senses. Write five senses underneath that, and then write all the humility, love, truth, honesty, all the seven teachings below that, right? Okay, right. So the presence. So we have to be all those things, right? Right. Right. And again, this is be really gentle here. This is a practice, right? This is a practice, right? Practice, right? Okay. And this is a little bit in your face right here, right? So we are not singing, you know, you know. We have to sing, we have to dance, we have to go to ceremony. That's what that's part of it, right? Like if we're refusing to sing, then that's right. That's a sign of a wound, right? Write that down. It's a sign of a wound, right? Right. Like if we're not praying every morning, the 30-day challenges. Who is doing the 30-day challenge? Right. 30-day challenge is just briefly wake up in the morning for 30 days, pray in the morning, face east, pray in the morning, make an offering. That's the short version of the 30-day challenge. If we're not doing that, then you realize what are we doing? That's what Grandfather Church start the day with prayer. So if it doesn't begin with prayer, it doesn't begin. If it doesn't begin with spirit, then it doesn't begin. And I would just add, if it doesn't begin with offering, then it doesn't. That's a bareism. So if it doesn't begin with those three things, then really it doesn't begin. And then we get what we get during the day. We're driving sideways down the road. We're like, what's freaking wrong today, man? It's like everything's on the wall. Okay, let's set that. So it's really important, because what we're doing is kind of like the big reset button, right? Reminding us how beautiful, powerful we are. What our intentions are, right? Right. Tim Robbins and like all those, not Tim Robbins, that guy Robbins, like they're always talking about intentions, right? Well, you know, sometimes the colonial world really gets that right. Well, we have to have absolutely set that daily intention, right? And I would include, if you want your life really to get good, there's a spiritual gift for us every day, right? There's something out there for us. It's in the birds, it's in the bees, but if we never know that, then we never pray for it, ask for it intentfully, then that's going to pass us by like a ship in the night. Just kind of like two ships passing in the night. Just, I don't think someone's out there, right? Really, it was a beautiful lesson. It was beautiful teaching. It was like the love of the morning. And there's a story that I tell that brings out. That's why we tell as Indigenous people. That's why we tell stories. Storytelling. It was our education. One of those storytellers that reminds me of one of my gifts every day is to listen to the morning birds. Right. I just imagine that they're happy and they're sharing their happiness with me, and I love that. That reminds me, one, I'm never alone. Two, that I'm remembered. Three, that I'm loved. And that's just right off the rip, right? That, in the morning, but and again, we're at that place of imagination, right? Right? At that beautiful place of imagination. So sometimes we have to listen to them sing, remind us to sing. And, like that's okay, dancing, remembering that we're always in ceremony. Right, and everything that's like the larger. But we are always in ceremony. We are always in ceremony. Right, right. Everything be prayerful and praying hard enough. That means we can always use more prayer. This is not something, you know, usually like as colonial refugees, right? And we're all colonial refugees, right? You know, we usually do this as a knee-jerk reaction when we're in some sort of crisis or calamity, right? The world brings us to this place, right? Crisis, calamity, chaos, right? Oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? Like people do that to me. Oh my God, there's something wrong with me. What do I do? Well, start showing up and praying. Start coming to circle in the morning. Start remembering. Start there, right? Start there. Like if there's a starting point to healing, it's probably one, it's right now. Two, it's like come to circle. Three, stay in ceremony. Remember, every step is a dance, right? Every prayer, every word we say, be prayerful, right? All these things to help us realignment. So it's not like we're really that far away from our healing. It really was, and this is a little bit in your face, what we want to do, what we're willing to do, and what we're refusing to do. Right, 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 right. What we are refusing to do. We talked about the other day about walking gently a mother, like our feet kissing the ground. That's a beautiful dance, right? That's an emotional, physical, spiritual, dance that we have to use our imagination. Imagination is a big theme in here, like the last couple of weeks. So, really, I guess that's that beautiful flow. So, that beautiful flow of men just walking across the grass, just gently, just being. I was watching a fire last night, just like, oh my God, I'm so grateful to be just watching the fire, watching the sunset go down, and one fire here and the sunset over there. I'm like, wow, this is really beautiful and really really powerful, right? So what time is it? We're 4 minutes over. Okay, so let's kind of wrap this up in the next 30 minutes. So, if we are not feeling the presence of our ancestors walking with us, okay, that's kind of if, right? So now we know that they're there. Like, we went over that extensively today. So we are not singing, dancing, or praying hard enough. And sometimes we just have to dance. Sometimes we just have to sing. Sometimes we just have to do that, right? And every single one of these is, again, I want you to write the medicine wheel next to it: spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, because singing is all those things. Dancing is all those things. Like, let's not get cubbyholed in like dancing across the yard. That's the only dance that we do. No, no, no. That's not the deal. We can spiritually dance. We can emotionally dance. We can, and just see, I bet you never heard that before, right? But I want you to write here, like, right here, right, it says medicine wheel right there, right? And everything here. I mapped it out. Everything is connected, right? And so the medicine wheel, what connects us all, right? That's what we're supposed to do here. So singing, it is not just the actual singing, the physical act of singing, but it's the spiritual singing, right? I bet you didn't know that, right? It's emotional singing. What are you emotional singing today? What is your song today? Because we're singing all day long, but what are you singing? Are you singing sorrow, grieving, not having enough, you know, trauma, right? We sing a lot of songs. We know a lot of languages, right? Right. Which one? Everything we say is part of our song, right? Write that one down, right? Everything we say is part of our song. What are you singing today? You know, like here's something that grandfather. What's the grandfather Tony? What's something else? Like if you heard a voice recording of everything that you said, yesterday, what would that be? Would it be pain, sorrow, regret, blame, shame, guilt? What would it be like? Or would it be something else? Would it be happiness, freedom, serenity? Which is that's what we're supposed to be, right? That's when we know that we're in alignment with all things beautiful, right? Right. With humility, right? Humility is a great way to line us up, with beautiful gifts. That's a great way to see our spiritual, emotional, mental, physical gifts that we are given right here today, every day, every moment. I mean, we're given a gift, right? The first thing is life, and the second thing, there's something here. There's a lesson of learning because we're supposed to be better, right? We're supposed to learn. We're supposed to heal. So think along those lines and look around. So what's here helping me heal today? Right? Wow. Besides a cup of coffee, what here's to help you heal today, right? Kind of like, and maybe it's a little laughter, right? A little levity, right? So anyway, no one said that they love you today. No one's saying. No one said that they love you today. I love you very much. Honor for me to sit here. Privilege to be of service to. Oh man, service to this circle here today. So let's close our eyes today. We're going to close it out with a little Standing Nation medicine. Thank you to Danny Goodman. This is a Danny Goodman flute question the other day. So we'll kind of close your eyes and just kind of meditate about what where we went and what we did today. Okay. Kept it a little short today. Once again, the final word is the ceremony may end, but the ceremony in you does not end. So let's take what we lived here, loved here, and learned here, and listen to here, and take it out to the four winds. Does us no good to be all spiritual here if we don't take it out there. And that means not only hit that share button, share it everywhere, what we have done here everywhere, but it also means take it out to the gas attendant, to the deli guy, the coffee girl. That's what that means. Take it out. Be compassionate. Be loving. Be forgiving. That's what that means. That means being the life givers, right? That means being the peacemakers, right? Right. That's what that means, right? Anybody can be all spiritual here. But if we're not spiritual out there, it doesn't do anybody any good. My name's Kanipa Witnakwan, Stanley Barrett. And if no one said that they love you today, I love you very much. Let's have a great day.